Right now on Up with KREM, we're tracking the latest updates on primary election here in the Evergreen State. This morning, a look at key races, including the contentious gubernatorial race.
Plus, several local levies were on the ballot that could raise your taxes, what they are asking for, and which ones are passing at this hour.
Normal August temperatures moving forward with the inland northwest forecast. I'm tracking when our next chances for rain, if any, will return.
Up with KREM begins now.
Well, the results are in this morning on Up with KREM. We're tracking several races all across Washington State. At 6 a.m., we say thank you for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Tim Pham. This morning, we are breaking down primary election day results here in Washington State. We are now one step closer to knowing which candidates are moving on to the general election in November. Results are still being counted, but we do have the latest results scrolling there at the bottom of your screen.
And this morning on Up with KREM, we're bringing you everything you need to know with complete team coverage. Our Brandon T. Jones is joining us live from the Spokane County Elections Office, letting us know more about the election certification process. And of course, our meteorologist Thomas Patrick is letting us know how the weather will impact our day today.
Plus, we are taking a look at what's next and which candidates are moving on and where votes stand on local levies. So let's start with the big ones. The race for Washington's governor is heating up. There are 28 people running and looking to replace Governor Jay Inslee after he announced last year that he would not seek re-election. Bob Ferguson leads right now. Dave Reichert has the second most with 28% of the vote. Also, something of note here, Semi Bird, who was endorsed by the Washington GOP, only has 9% of the vote this morning.
Now, Bob Ferguson thanked the crowd that was at his election watch party last night. He told supporters there it was clear from the beginning that Dave Reichert would be his opponent come November. Ferguson says he's now working to reach undecided voters.
Well, the choice is clear. Dave Reichert wants to take us backwards on essential freedoms. He wants to take away your reproductive freedom. He's opposed to your reproductive freedom. He doesn't believe you should marry the person you love. He denies humans contribute to climate change. On issue after issue after issue, he's on the wrong side of where the majority of Washingtonians are.
Dave Reichert said last night marked the beginning of change in Washington State. Republicans who came to support him last night feel like they can win in November, something no Republican has done since 1980. Reichert told us he's confident to advance to November and says he'll continue to take the fight to Bob Ferguson and his messaging won't change.
My whole plan in running for governor since the beginning has been to reach out to every voter of Washington State, and that's going to continue to be the case for us here. And I'm focused on Bob Ferguson right now.
Now taking a look at the race for Lieutenant Governor this morning, Denny Heck currently is leading with 49% of the vote. Dan Matthews is in second with 23%.
There are 11 candidates running to replace Eastern Washington Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rogers' District 5 seat. Right now, Republican Michael Baumgartner is leading the vote. In second is Democrat Camilla Conroy with about 20% of the vote. KREM 2 had the chance to speak to both candidates last night.
I thought we were doing well, to be honest. I was hoping we were going to break 30, and but I realized, look, Eastern Washington is a wonderful district, and there's a lot of different political beliefs.
Taking me some time for it to sink in. I know it's still preliminary results. We still have to wait for another almost 50% of the votes to come in, but it's very humbling and gratifying.
Coming up on KSKN 22, both candidates will be live here in the KREM 2 studio. Camilla Conroy will join us at 7:45 a.m. and Michael Baumgartner will join us on the show at 8:15 a.m.
Now taking a look at the race for the U.S. House of Representatives for District 4. Dan Newhouse is seeking re-election, but at this time, the incumbent is in second place with 25% of the vote. Right now, Jared Sessler is leading the race with 30%, and Tiffany Smiley sits in third with 19%.
Now to another major statewide race. Washington will have a new attorney general as Bob Ferguson is running for governor. At this hour, it appears Pete Serrano is leading, and not far behind is Nick Brown.
Now taking a look at some of our local levies, Airway Heights City Council is asking voters there to approve a public safety levy for the police department. Now this levy needs just a simple majority in order to pass, and right now it appears to be doing just that, with 53% of voters saying yes. Now if this levy is approved, it will add $1 per $1,000 of assessed property value. So that means an average $300,000 home would see an increase of about $25 per month.
And the city of Cheney is asking voters to approve a 6-year property tax levy to fund emergency medical services. The levy would raise taxes by 50 cents per $1,000 of assessed property value within the city. It appears right now most voters are in favor of the levy.
And looking at a property tax levy on the ballot for Spokane County Fire District 13. Right now, this levy appears to be passing with 59% of voters saying yes. If this levy is approved, residents will see their property tax rise from 79 cents per $1,000 of assessed property value to just over $1 per $1,000 of assessed property value. The tax would then grow by 3% over the next 3 years. Now, if you're new to Washington's primary system or maybe just need a refresher this morning, we're walking you through how the winners will actually be decided.
That's why KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones is live at the elections office for us this morning. So, Brandon, they had a very busy night. They're going to continue counting this morning. What should we know about this certification process? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Tim Channing. Well, we know it's going to be a couple of busy days here ahead of us. The work has not stopped. It's going to only continue and carry on. You already talked a little bit about some of those early unofficial results that started to come out around 8:15 last night. So what they're going to be doing over the next several days is making sure every single vote is counted, and then they'll have the election, this primary, certified by August 20th. So as all of that work unfolds over the next couple of days, you can also go ahead and check on the status of your ballot in VoteWall, Washington's statewide voter registration database. We had a chance to talk about this a little bit yesterday, but we're going to go over that again as that work continues. When your ballot arrives at the elections office, the barcode that is on the outer envelope is scanned. After scanning it, it will update your voter record in VoteWall and your status will say received. This way, it prevents anyone from casting more than one ballot. Right after Election Day, so today and until August 20th, local election officials will check to make sure the voting systems are counting each vote correctly. And as ballots arrive, local election officials will keep detailed records of the steps taken to process each ballot or group of ballots. Final report is made at the end of the process, which includes a summary of how many ballots are received, how many ballots were counted, how many ballots remained with the challenge status and were rejected by the county canvassing board. Comparing the numbers of ballots throughout the process ensures that every ballot is received and handled properly. So we're going to be live inside of the elections office just a little bit later this morning, and we'll continue to keep you updated with live coverage throughout this morning. But for now, reporting live in Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Brandon, thank you. And with the Washington state primary now behind us, all eyes are on the general election, which is on Tuesday, November 5th.
So here are other key dates to keep in mind here in Washington state. October 18th is the date in which you can expect to start seeing your ballot, your general election ballot. Now, October 28th, that's the last day that you can register to vote online. You can still register to vote in person, and of course, the ballots are due on November 5th.
The state of Idaho still holds in-person voting for the general election on November 5th. The deadline to register online in Idaho is October 11th, and the deadline to request an absentee ballot in Idaho is October 25th.
Now we know this is a lot of information to digest this morning, so if you would like all of this information sent right to your phone, everything about the Washington primary and even the latest election results, text us the word results to our number 509-448-2000. We'll send you a link with all of that information right to your phone.
The time now is 6:08. Let's get you out the door with a look at your weather impact forecast. Thomas, it's a little hazy outside, a little cloudy. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. And that should be our biggest impact for today, is just a little bit of a haze out there. So shouldn't be any worries out there. And even those stray or surprise shower chances, yeah, that's looking severely unlikely for today. So just a bit of a hazy morning out there with our current temperatures in the mid 60s. 65 should be about our low temperature for the day today. So moving forward, I think we got a pretty average August afternoon ahead of us. Skies will turn mostly sunny, albeit a little bit hazy. 89 degrees for the high temperature is just 3 degrees above average. So pretty much near those normal normal August values for us. A few 90s, especially in central Washington, still likely for today. But as for those rain chances, yeah, a bit of a surprise over the Palouse from yesterday, but that energy is over Montana right now, and we do have some drier air that's starting to slot in from the north. So we'll be watching if anything does spur over our northern areas, as that's the direction the drier air is coming in from. Otherwise, should be mostly sunny and hazy today.
Millions of dollars being spent on election security. How much of that money is coming to Eastern Washington, and what local counties are now using the money for?